Greetings, it is I, Herbert Space Marine Glue Erpaderp. Space Marine Glue? I don't know about that. I do have glue though. Hey Corvus. Good evening, Monsieur. I hope you and Trakan are doing well. I am late, but I'm here. And it seems Pretzel is working properly again. The button for the song, the starting song, worked. It played the song I wanted it to, and didn't play another song that I was unable to stop underneath it. I'm assuming the skip button works correctly now again too. But enough pissing and moaning about that. I have bits of plastic to glue together. Like this assembly of breech bits. A debilitating migraine this morning, but got over it. I'm glad you got over it, because migraines suck ass. I used to have those really bad when I was a child, and for some reason it just got better. I still get them occasionally, but not as often. I think this is going to fit. I hope this is going to fit. Might need a tiny bit of trimming. Who would have thought that yelling at technique works? I mean, I wouldn't have thought. My assumption is what worked was mentioning it on their Discord, where other people had also mentioned it. That might be slightly better. Not that I really, excuse me, not that I really need a perfect fit. I only need a Soviet fit. A lot of the other stuff on this kit doesn't really fit that great either, so it wouldn't be out of character. Who needs instructions if one can hope that the parts fit? Exactly. It's like praying, thoughts and prayers, except for modelers. I don't want to actually do anything. I'm just gonna hope about it. I'm gonna glue that on. YOLO, as the youth say. It's definitely not something that I've just imagined the youth say. It's current hip slang. Glue, glue, glue. Glue. Praise the glue god. Praise the glue god or die. Now the hope, there's that word again. The hope is that this will stay together and be strong enough to hold the main gun. It's not going to be staying together if you let go of it like that. Maybe it needs more glue. It's slightly tricky to see that I'm getting it in the right place unless I hold it at a particular angle. And it has enough weight to it that it needs to bond, otherwise it'll just come undone. Yesterday observed less omelets. That's exactly what YOLO stands for. Eurotruck's in my border garage in Budapest, capital of Hungary. IRL Hungary has a very right-wing government, so I thought they would like some very pink trucks. So I bought them. Does not change reality, but it helps me a bit. Well, good. What if I also go and buy a garage in Hungary and buy pink trucks? I'm keen to annoy some right-wing folks. That's looking probably fine and dandy enough. I'm worried that if I test at the upper turret, it'll push this out of place and be annoying. So I'm going to leave that to bond for a while. Which I think is the correct course of action. And there's a couple of bits to add to the turret. There's also... was it on this page? I did see an instruction to remove molded on doodads. Or maybe I imagined that. Oh, it's right there, right in the middle of the page. You're a smart one, Erpaderp. There's tiny little doodads. I guess they're guides. Need to be trimmed off here. Probably doesn't look quite as good as if with the casting texture. If you do this. They've got to be removed or else. I don't know if they even really show up on the camera that well. Depends on the light. I think this middle bit will be covered by a spare track link. Speaking of track links, I still haven't glued together any more track links for this kit. I think I'm just going to 3D print some new ones. I think I found a set. It says they clip together and are workable. So I'm going to try those out. I should have set the printer up before I started here. Speaking of 3D printing, did I don't know if I showed my new tool that I designed. It's very practical. It couldn't have just been done the old-fashioned way. But I made a magnet on a stick. 7,000. There's no way you could make this without a 3D printer. You can't just glue a magnet onto a stick. That'd be wrong. I'm easily amused, by the way. And that is basically the limit of my skills of 3D designing, I guess you'd call it, at this point. Now, back to bits of plastic. I think there's a risk of damaging detail parts if I add them to the outside of the turret before gluing the bottom bit on. So that could be a problem. Doesn't seem to... The top width is slightly wider than the bottom width here. The world will change if they see magnet on a stick 7,000. Look at me, I'm changing the world. Oh, it's upside down. They'll never be able to read that. 7,000! I don't know if you can even see that. It is slightly wider, you can see there. But it does seem to fit together okay. Not perfect here at the front. And I don't know if that can be fixed by removing material, or I'm going to have to just putty it. Such adventurous, magical music. That seems to be a tiny bit better. Ideally, if I could be bothered, I would just model a weld seam along it. I don't know if I'll go to that effort. Ah, comrade, is good enough. This is certainly the sort of thing you do in sections. Joining the upper to the lower turret is magic. It's magic that only a few wizards, such as myself, are able to perform. Let's do it. What's the worst that could happen? There is actually some pretty good interior detail molded on the inside of the turret, too. It's almost a shame to make it disappear with my magical powers of gluing. What's the worst that could happen? The Burger Panther could come along and steal the T-34-85. It couldn't yet. Well, actually it could. It doesn't need the crane hook thingy to steal it. It's got towing bars. They could steal it. Criminal scum. That's too much glue. Definitely not a perfect join, but it is a join. Just hold it for a bit. Keep holding. And not the old Australian brand of cars, Holden. It could look better, but it could look worse. If I press on there, doesn't shift the other side too bad? Pressing that has pushed a little bit of melted material out, which could almost look like a weld seam. It doesn't fit as good along here. There's a slight underhang. The bottom comes out further this way than the top. That's what I'm trying to say. And that's kind of annoying. I'll have to fix that with my knife. Using a knife fixes all your problems. Follow me for more terrible advice. I think that's going to be okay to leave by itself for now. Doesn't seem like it wants to come apart. I think the best idea is going to be to leave that for a moment or two and then scrape that side down a little so it's not as bad. Excuse me. And then add the details to the side. So in the meantime, I'm going to get the CB sprue. Not the HA sprue. Don't laugh at me, sprue. This one. There's like 3 mantlet options in this kit. I do like this one better. Doesn't matter if I like it better. I have to follow the instructions or else. I have to say, I don't see any locking tabs on the turret. No, you don't. There's no locking tabs here. It just sits on top of the hull and you don't get to lock it in. Disappointing, I know. I'm sorry, Trekan. But in better news, the end of the gun barrel is slide molded. Look at that. No drilling for me. No locking tabs. I hate Mr. MiniArt. Go to hell. Go to photo etch hell, Mr. MiniArt. That's not very nice. Don't you appreciate the torment he's inflicted on poor Herbert? With his photo etch? And not very fun to assemble tracks? How's that gonna look? Quite mantlety, but doesn't seem to... Maybe I have to apply some force to get it all the way down. "3D printed tracks to you and your house." I agree. This might be a problem to install. Or does it go under the... Oh, it goes under the... Oh, now I get it. I'm a simpleton. That goes on incredibly easily and doesn't pop off. I don't know if we want this nubbin on the end, but if it doesn't hurt, I'd sooner leave it on. I'm assuming that's meant to go in and not just on. Goodbye, nubbin. You weren't hurting anything, but I've got to kill nubbins everywhere. It takes significant force to get into place. Well, not significant, but more than I like. Enough that it might push the mantlet holy bit off out of its place, bonded into the turret. In fact, to try and prevent that sort of thing, I might add some more glue in areas that now have contact. That ought to help the little SOB. They call him Nubbin Killer. What a glorious thing to be known as. Destroy the mold line. Does look a little rough, but it's okay. It's a Soviet tank. That's my excuse. And boy howdy, is it a good excuse. We should all look up to you. You're a model citizen. How you doing, fat cat tubby bottom? I think a little sanding, if I can grab that without causing an avalanche. A little sanding might be nice. It's kind of hard to see where the mold line was on this side until I start sanding.
Balls.
Balls of steel? You're really looking up at me. Well, that may be a mistake, but I appreciate it. That looks pretty gun. A little bit of a nubbin at the end there. There. Very shooty stick. Now, I guess the question is, will that be annoying to install before the small detail parts or not? Also, I guess the gun probably really should go in first, just so I can see that it goes all the way into place. And we do know that it fits. And now we find out that, oh no, it's a horrible mistake to put the gun in first. Probably not. Better than me, I'm playing a game on the computer and watching on mobile, so I'm looking down on you. Why haven't I opened up Twitch on my second monitor? I don't know. I mean, fair. Look at that. Easy as piss. Put some glue in there so that it stays on. Ha 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 ha! Never done that joke before. That stays pretty much where I want it. Now it's very noticeable that that is slightly wider at the top. Maybe that's realistic. Ha ha ha, funny dong meme. Indeed. Hello Herbert, the one that does fun stuff, Erpaderp. I do fun stuff. Also, I said do. How you doing, Leopard Leonardo? I think that'll stay together. I totally forgot that I was going to remove some material along there. Guess I can do that with the gun in place. Hear the scrape. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it was pretty bad along there. Good enough. Good enough for now. We'll probably do some putty work along there. That's what modeling's all about. Parts stay where you want them to stay. Well, hopefully they stay where you want them to stay. Sometimes they do not. Sometimes they rebel against you. And that's why we must use the power of glue for evil. I mean, for good. Yes. We don't do evil around here. Now there's an antenna and some lifting lugs. Some little circular doovers. All of which I will glue onto the turret when I find them. Instead of twisting, I'll just bring the entire box over here. And good enough. Good enough for now. Ivan Krapov when he saw the big gaps between armor plates in the tank. Good old Ivan Krapov. It's not this sprue. Certainly not. That's EA. It's in the game. This looks like one. NG stands for narrow gauge. RA? No, that's an E, idiot. Either way, I don't need it. NF? No. Fuck. Here's one with a handrail. That looks correct. I need 3 of them. Here's another one. That. Now I just need an RG. Erg. Seems to be what I want. It's got 2 little circular doodads on it, which look like they may be a bit of a pain to cut off the sprue. No, fuck! Dmitry Popov the moment the gear lever got stuck in second. Ah, that sounds like fun. He doesn't have the appropriate gear shifting device. The hammer. Okay, first things first. Whatever these are called. Barry. That's what they are. They're Barrys. And I think I can just clip these flat and have no need to clean them up. I like when that happens. Back in the box, assuming there's nothing else I need on these at the moment. Bold assumption. Also, I've forgotten that I need an antenna, which is on the RE sprue. Do I really need an antenna? I have my doubts. Okay, the thing to do is probably glue these on and then leave them to bond while I get the rest of the bits ready. Maybe a tweezer job. Yeah, that's a tweezer job. Geezers with tweezers. Quite sure if that's the exact angle it should be on. Probably 90 degrees to the surface it's sitting on is appropriate. They call me Herbert the Parts Dropper. One more. Maybe I should glue this one on upside down. You know, for funsies. Looks reasonable. You could lift the turret with those. I mean, assuming you were tiny and had to use a big crane with cables or whatever. I can just pick it up because I'm mighty. Okay. I do appreciate the way they've tried to do this as so that you don't cut away part of the actual part. But it is kind of annoying to get off the sprue. Or to remove the part from the little bit while it's on the sprue. And then, because it's so small, it's difficult to hold to remove the offending bit of sprue. But if you do it just right, like I didn't, there's very little to cut away and clean up. Oh, I nearly lost it. Let's see if I can do this one better. I did. Might as well glue those on. Doesn't look like there's actually keying or anything for them. That's fine. That's fine. I would say these are a tweezer job, but they're too... It's a cone shape, so it's going to be really difficult to hold in tweezers and not have it fly away. It is light enough-ish that you can just touch it with the tip of your finger and have it stick. Probably. Not for long enough to get into place, though. Ass. My assumption is that should be in the center of that raised bit. And that's probably close enough. No idea what those are. Port covers or something. Pistol ports. Just random little spikes. Why not? Done with work, so you're gonna lurk. I am glad you have finished work. You also have a nice day. Or else. I might as well video that to show that I did in fact install all 4 of those lift rings and a spiky bit on both sides. Not that it's much of a spike, but you know. If you don't show it, it didn't happen, as the kids say. Handrails? I might as well find that antenna. The or else has me intrigued. I don't know, I didn't think that far ahead, so use your imagination. What am I looking for? RE. There it is. Please don't break. Please don't. Thank you for not breaking so far. nubbins on tiny little thin rods. I've probably said this about 1 billion times, but they're the worst nubbins. Especially when the plastic isn't super flexible. This is a little bit flexible, but I think it's more likely to snap than flex too much. I'm going to declare that that's almost nubbin free. That is now nubbin free. Congratulations, antenna. Now let's not break these. Who did that? Now I'm wondering, there isn't really any pin material beneath the little round bit on these. There should be, because you have to drill holes for them. There we go. I should keep these because I need to eventually glue together the ice cleats and make stacks of them. Fuck it. I'm not going to do that today. I'll do it another time. The antenna is free! Freedom! Good enough. Ass. Are there any donuts in this kit? Unfortunately not. There's probably some ring-shaped components that you could pretend are donuts. Wouldn't recommend it though. I would suggest actual donuts. I haven't had a donut for a long time. Maybe I should get one. That's a bad idea. There is, yet again, something in my P.O. box. Maybe I'll get a donut as a compensation, because it's almost certainly political junk mail. I should write angry letters when I receive political junk mail in my P.O. box, because I deliberately, when signing up for it, said, no junk mail, thanks. Who would say yes, I want junk mail in my P.O. box? No donuts? Bad for Sovietsky morale. Sucks to be them. Niet donutsky. That's probably how we say that in Russian. And if it's not, I don't care. It is now. Speaking of political junk mail, the typical political ads are like, the other party's bad, this is what they're doing that's bad, and they don't talk about their own policies. But I got a chuckle out of one where it says, cut Christofouli, I think his name is. Cut Christofouli before he cuts you. And I got a good chuckle out of that. Vote Trekan. He is good. Sauerkraut for all for free. You got my vote. Antenna. We'll need glue for that. That looks like it's at risk of falling into the hole. I may have drilled them slightly too big. The holes are definitely a little too big. There's a bit of a gap around that one. Exactly. It looks fine. And if I'm going to be puttying along the join there, probably won't hurt to get a tiny little bit around that gap. That one looks a bit better. Oh, you dog cunt. Did you knock anything out of place? Doesn't seem like I did. Don't drop what you're working on. It's bad. Very oh, you stupid shit. Kind of surprising that didn't just break. Wang. It looks like I've got all the doodadery on the side of the turret that they've asked for. Turn the page. Now they want track links, but that's the but. But. I think if I'm going to 3D print new tracks for this, I might as well also print a couple of extra for the spares around the that slot into the handrails. That seems like a smart thing to do. It might look better than the ones that come with the kit, and if not, at least it will be consistent. And that probably brings us to a thrilling conclusion, at least for now, because the rest of the bits that I've omitted and skipped over were photo etch. And I just don't feel like doing photo etch. Gonna print a crew figure, right? Right? I could. I don't think I will. If you can find a good free file for a Soviet tank crew figure, maybe I will print it. Just for the lols. If you can find one that's being run over by a tank, I will print it. That'll be funny. Vote Trekkan under Trekkan's regency, saying, "Have you seen the game? Becomes a crime." Trekkan! You've got my vote. Sounds like a good regency. I think let's just plop the turret onto the hull. It does need a little bit of pressure to go on, and I'm not sure if it should have that gap around it, but probably should. Looks pretty good, in my opinion. It is missing a few bits, like the tanks, and the ice cleat sets stacked up there. Not my favorite model so far. It's taken a lot more effort than I had expected, but it looks good. Looks good, and that's what counts. Okay, I'll put you over there. I may or may not continue by adding the printed tracks next week. If I don't, I'll build something different and just film the rest of this build off stream. Tomorrow night, I'm planning on starting on the whatever kit won the vote that I put up on Patreon. I haven't checked recently, but I'm pretty confident it's still the New Bell Wiggity Waggity Zug, or whatever that's called. And that seemed more popular by YouTube views too. So I'll be doing that. And probably start something new on my morning stream this stream next week. Not sure what it is. I might start on the Tamiya BT-42. I've almost finished a What's in the Box video for that, so why not? Unless I find something quicker and faster to do for a week. Anyway, I'm waffling now. I'm not going to do a raid. I'm going to go and eat something. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you next time. Toodaloo!